All right, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna harvest potatoes. We have a whole bunch of potatoes that are ready. Down here on this end of the row, those are all dying back. These guys have all died back here. So what we're going to do, we're gonna go through, we're gonna pluck up everything that looks like it's dying back. As they die back, that means the potatoes are ready. So that's what we're gonna do today. Start taking them up. I got a bucket and a pitchfork over there. I'll start digging these, separate the potatoes, put them in the bucket, and just work down the row. So stick the camera on the tripod here and get started. So really, for harvesting potatoes, all you need is a bucket and a pitchfork. You don't even technically need a pitchfork, right? Because you can dig these up by hand, but it's much easier if you do it with a pitchfork. So the way it works is the potatoes are going to be growing underneath where the plant was. So there's a plant here, there's a plant here. You want to dig outside from the plant about a foot and then kind of pull up. When you pull up, the plant will come and then you'll start getting potatoes with it. So at that point, you can kind of get down in the dirt and you can find your potatoes. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of potatoes here. Just drop them in the bucket and then kind of dig around and see if you can find anything else. So as you can see, here's some more. And you just do this throughout the bed. More potatoes. Now you can use the pitchfork to go a little deeper if you need to, depending upon how you planted your potatoes. If you planted them in hills like I did, so I hilled up the row, you should be able to get them right from near the surface. If you planted them really deep, you might have to dig down a little deeper because the potatoes will grow down several inches from the soil surface. One other thing you want to keep in mind is that potatoes can get blight like your tomatoes can. They can get other diseases as well. So what you want to do with your potatoes is you want to take the plant tops and you want to get rid of them. You don't want to keep them around. They're not going into your compost. You want to just throw them away. Burn them, put them in your garbage, whatever you do with your regular garbage. You just don't want them ending up in your compost. You can also notice that this is a different variety. So I'm starting to run into a different variety here. These are more of like a white russet potato, whereas the other ones were a red boiling potato. If you care to keep them separate, you can do that at this point. I personally don't care, so I'm not going to. But that's something you can definitely do. Another thing you can do if you're wanting to be a little faster at this and easier with it is you can go ahead and bring some clippers out and clip the tops of these as you're doing it. Makes it a little easier. But we have a plant, I believe, right here. So let's pick this guy up, see if we find anything. Yep, some more potatoes. Got a lot of worms in here, that's nice. I know I saw some more potatoes in here, I don't know where they went. What the heck just happened to it? This is the fun of digging potatoes, is you get to be a little kid and dig in the dirt. What I do is I'll just dig it out and then I'll flip the soil one time. I guess if you were doing a complete no-till garden or no-dig garden, this probably wouldn't be something you'd want to do. But I'm not an ardent follower of no-dig. It's a nice russet potato. Your normal, like baking potato there. You can see how the potatoes grow. Lots of little potatoes on there. You can take these, and I don't know if you ever bought like new potatoes in the grocery store or whatever. That's basically what you're doing here. These little potatoes are completely edible. So throw those in your bucket with the others. Yeah, some nice big potatoes in here. This plant produced nicely. And there's a ton of potatoes in the soil at the base of this plant as well. So you're going to want to pluck those off and just pull them out. Another nice big one. And another one. These are really nice potatoes. You get some like this where the plant is still kind of stuck to it. You can break that off, but it leaves the potato open, so that invites rotting. It might scab over, it might not, so I don't usually waste the time if it's a small one like that. If it's a bigger one, I might try, but if it's a small one, I don't usually waste too much time with it. So you can see these grew really nice. This is all from one plant, or 2 plants, I guess. Another bigger one. Some more. Any of these little ones that you forget or you don't pick out of here, they may sprout up next year, so I do try to pick them all up, even if they're little ones, like these are marble sized. I just throw those out into the grass. You know, they'll rot away and go away. More, you know, larger sized potatoes here. Got another one down there. Yeah, finding potatoes everywhere. This plant spread a lot and set a lot of potatoes. Surprised at how many are in here. So yeah, it's kind of like I said, like when you're a kid digging for, playing in the dirt, you get to dig around and look for stuff. It's like a treasure hunt, every plant that you dig up. So you can see that some of these are overlapping. Some of these potato plants are not completely ready yet, and we have different varieties, so that's why that's that way. Some of them are going to be ready earlier than others. So what I'm trying to do here is just take the stuff that's actually ready. I already had harvested some on the end of that row, as I had mentioned in the previous video. So those were a purple variety of potato, and they were evidently one of my earliest you know, crop to be ready, because they were completely ready, died back, ready to go. And as I said earlier, you know, take a quick turn of the soil, make sure you didn't miss anything big. Yeah, I think we're good here. Move on to the next plant. So this one's also got a ton of potatoes in it. Yeah, these really are nice. Very nice potatoes. We've got some giant worms in here, which is nice. Helping the soil out. If I come across any potato beetles, I'm just going to kill them on site. So this potato had a little bit of the original seed potato on it, and the seed potato, of course, has rotted at this point, and you know, it's pretty nasty. So you want to just wipe that off if you come across it. Yeah, so I'm going to just finish up doing this, just continue down the aisle. I'll check in at the end and show you what we harvested. Hopefully the harvest continues to be as nice as it is right now. These potatoes definitely have been producing very nicely. All right, well, I'll check back in a little bit. So as I'm harvesting these, I figured I would kind of show what it looks like here as I pull them out. See, here's one where I just pulled up. Here's another one. I've been working my way down the path here. As I work my way down the path, my bucket is already pretty much full. So we probably won't get to pulling any of these out today just because there's so many. But we are definitely getting a good number of potatoes. See, these are some potatoes that we got from our community supported agriculture share. So a CSA share is where you buy basically like a share in a farm in the spring, and then you get a harvest of the, you know, fruits and vegetables that they grow throughout the year. Last year we had it, and we got some of these potatoes. We didn't eat them all, and in the spring we had a few left over that I used as just seed potatoes, just stuck them in the ground because I know that everything they have is organic and it's not sprayed. So they would you know, take off, and these I remember them specifically because they were 2 different colors. I thought those were kind of cool. But yeah, they're growing great. All right, gonna get back to picking. Okay, so here we are. I successfully harvested the rest of that first row and a couple plants in the second row, and ran out of bucket space, so I'm stopping for today. I got a 6-gallon bucket full and a 5-gallon bucket full. I think that's the size of those. Maybe the taller one is a 7-gallon. I don't really remember which is which. We bought those from a company, or from a guy that gets them from a peanut butter factory. So they're food safe, but they're larger than a standard. You can see the 5-gallon bucket is much shorter. They fit a regular lid and stuff though, so we use these for collecting maple sap. But anyway, back to the potatoes. We've got that bucket and the other bucket totally full. They're very, very heavy. I don't know how much they weigh, but it's got to be at least 30 pounds per bucket. So a lot of potatoes. We were able to dig these guys out. I got 3 plants from the beginning of this row. I still have a whole bunch more that I need to pull out here because these are starting to die back. And then we successfully emptied out the second row. So now that these are all picked, we'll bring them inside. We'll set them out to cure for a week or two, and then we'll put them in the basement in a nice, cool, dry, dark room. Hopefully they'll hold for several months at least. We may can some of these. We do can potatoes, and then you can make home fries or mashed potatoes with them very easily. But we've still got a lot more to pick, as you can see here, right? We have a whole bunch more in this row that needs to come out. So we've probably got another 50-60 pounds of potatoes in the ground still. And we've already picked up maybe 80, because these two, and then I have a whole nother barrel that I've already picked. So yeah, a lot of potatoes from a small space. Potatoes are one of those things, they either seem to do great or they do awful. This year they did great. Last year when we planted them, they were in a new bed, right? So the bed was new, but they grew pretty poorly. They were the harvest was not that great. This year was also a new bed, covered with fresh compost, just like last year, and they just did much better. Could have been the rain, could have been the amount of sunshine over here. This garden bed that we started, these 2 garden beds have much more sunshine than the one on our old lot, so that probably played a role into it. But we're really happy with this harvest. We have a good variety of potatoes. We have some white potatoes. These are like boiling potatoes. We have these multicolor ones. These are also just like a red potato. These are like a red Pontiac, so a red potato that's got white meat. And then the other harvest that we picked was all purple potatoes, so those are purple skin and purple meat. And then in the bottom of this bucket, we have a bunch of russets as well, so baking potatoes. A really good mix. I like boiling potatoes and making mashed potatoes and home fries and things of that nature. So boiling potatoes are what I tend to focus on growing, and that is definitely what has produced the most this year. Really well. Very happy with the harvest. Couldn't have asked for much more. Everything was healthy. Everything grew well. Even with some of the bug pressure, we did have a couple of outbreaks of Colorado potato beetle. I did a video on that. I can put a link in one of the corners here. Talk about that a little bit and how we tried to handle those. That outbreak was contained. We had a subsequent outbreak and then one more subsequent outbreak. So we've had 3 outbreaks. The last one is the one that's currently happening. I don't know if you can make that out right there, but that's a larva of a Colorado potato beetle. They're gross and they are relentless. So if you can make them out, there's more on that leaf right there. They just don't stop, They come in flushes though, so you can kind of knock them back, take a break for a week or two, knock them back again, take a break for a week or two. And that has worked, even with the pressure on these plants. As long as you keep enough foliage on them and they can stay growing, the potatoes are going to be harvestable. And that's exactly what happened this year. We kept a good amount of foliage on them, and they were, a terrific harvest. I'm very happy with this. I won't have to buy potatoes for, the whole winter probably, and that's good for us. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you want to see other videos of us growing things and harvesting things and taking care of our animals, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the little notification bell. When you get when we put up new videos, you'll get a notification and you can continue to follow along. All right, well, once again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.